Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special 5-star extra here on the YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Scott E. The 5-star extra is a bonus edition of the 5-star Joshi show that you can catch each and every Friday right here on the YouTube channel or anywhere you get your podcasts. It is an expansion of conversations that I have on the show, whether it be with guests or solo. And today, our very first edition of that true extra is talking Stardom's next top babyface. I think this is a conversation that many should be having because it's one of the most fascinating things to follow moving forward in the World Wonder Ring. Because when it comes to Stardom, in my opinion, I think it's very clear what's next when it comes to where this company is built around. Obviously, as I have talked about ad nauseum on this very show, or on this very channel, and of course on the 5-star Joshi show, is Saya Kamitani. This company is built around Saya Kamitani, right? And now it's about who is going to be the person who steps up and stands ahead of her, who becomes that next super rival. And this conversation, of course, also comes up because of departures and injuries. And I think that's why this conversation is so important for me to want to talk about in extra here. These extras aren't going to be long, right? At the end of the day, it's just an extra part of the podcast, but it's the start of something fun here. And this is a conversation that I had fun talking about a few weeks ago, and I wanted to bring it back up because of what happened this past weekend and just because I've been racking my brain. Who are the 5 best options that could be the next top babyface in Stardom? Who should be the next top babyface in Stardom? That is my conversation point here. I am going to give out 5 options, end this show with what I think is the best option in the long term. But also, I want to hear from you. So, I please ask you now, leave a like, subscribe, and comment who you believe should be the pick as the next top babyface in Stardom. And I want to say this, it's all natural in the end. When it comes to wrestling, it can be a natural pick. Who is the most over? Who is getting the best reactions? That is something that we're going to follow watching the World Wonder Ring moving forward. Who is going to be the one that stands out and can get that second biggest reaction alongside Saya Kamitani, that when they look face to face, it feels like the biggest match Stardom can put on? That is the conversation we're having here. Because, like I said, departures, injuries, it has all led us here. Micah's injury comes at a time where it really did feel like that was where Stardom would naturally be going, right? Micah, Saya Kamitani just felt like the direction they'd want to go. But Micah finally taking the time to take care of her elbow. I don't know if she was necessarily the answer to begin with, but in house, that surely felt like the Stardom pick to be that. So then you, of course, look at the exits of Mayu Iwatani and Tam Nakano. Both very important exits, taking away the 2 staple top baby faces of this company for years now. So it's about making someone new. And I've talked about this, who can step up to Saya Kamitani as challengers. This is a little bit more than just challengers. This is about being potentially that next top rival, that Tam Nakano replacement in many ways for Saya Kamitani and for this World of Stardom title reign. And I'll say this, I'll preface it with this. There can be more than just one. Stardom, through its history, has always had more than just one. but we are looking for that answer for Saya Kamitani, and I have 5 names listed out that I truly believe can be the answer to this question, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you my thoughts behind it, and I can't wait to hear what you think of that. So, with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Who will be Stardom's next top babyface? That is the question at hand today, and these are my answers. And I'll give you my top pick at the very end. So let's get into it. We start in the very natural spot. Starlight Kid is your reigning, defending Wonder of Stardom champion. She, as far as I'm concerned, is having a Wrestler of the Year type year as champion. She is and has been one of the most popular wrestlers in all of Stardom for years now. Whether it be the mask or just her overall ability, she is someone that the crowd has gravitated towards for a couple of years. And now that she is in the number 2 position in this company as the Wonder of Stardom champion, it feels only natural that she would, of course, be next up. I think with Starlight Kid, the easiest answer is her because she is such a great babyface. Since the moment she has turned back and has started to lead Neo Genesis, it has been very clear this is someone built for this moment. And she has gone out of her way to tease, to tell you, I want to face Saya Kamitani. I want to be the top champion. That is a match that they have told you is coming. It's a match they had scheduled but didn't end up happening due to her injuries. So she instantly becomes the first choice. And hell, she might be the right choice and the easiest choice. Starlight Kid is such a perfect answer to this question. And I do think that she very well might be the right answer to this question. But she's not my main pick. And it's because I think she should be given the time to hold the Wonder of Stardom champion. I think it's undeniable. She is going to be one of, if not the top baby faces in this company over the next few years. She right now is in the position as that because she's champion, because there is such a hole in the World of Stardom title picture when it comes to baby faces. It's about finding that answer. And until she either loses this title or Stardom is willing to go all in on a double champion match, I think I hold back on making her the top undeniable answer. I think in the end she will be the correct answer. I will say that. But the now, I don't think Starlight Kid should be dropping this title anytime soon. It's if you follow the history of Stardom, there can always be a top babyface. There can be a number of top baby faces. She's going to be one of them, and she's the safest bet for that. But right now, she is not my pick in terms of that one to chase Saya Kamitani, to chase the World of Stardom Championship, to be that top babyface that by the time we get to Stardom Dream Queendom or All Star Grand Queendom next year, that would be her first chance to be that. And I think that's way too far to look ahead right now. The next choice, and I've talked about this, it's Hanan. Of course, it's Hanan. Hanan has taken over Stars, and this is someone that the company has very clearly been behind. She obviously won the Cinderella tournament last year, but came up short at winning the Wonder of Stardom title. With Hanan, she is being prepared to be this answer. I just don't know when. When will they be ready to do that? Because right now, obviously, she's one half of the Goddesses of Stardom champions, which is a great role for her. Are we going to surpass the Wonder of Stardom championship for the World of Stardom championship with Hana? I have said in the past, I think that should be the decision. Saya Kamitani has already set her up. Who is a babyface you should be following in Stardom? And she named Hana. They're not hiding it. Why hide it? There's no reason to hide it. Hanan has been looked at as the future top babyface, top ace of this promotion for years. She was always one that was handpicked by fans and many others to be that eventually. And again, I I think it's crazy not to think she gets there. She's highly capable. She's a fantastic wrestler. She's super likable. Everything in that story makes sense. But there's too much there right now, I think, for her to instantly jump to that point. Now, the 5-star Grand Prix will be the true test for her. If she can make it to the final, make it to the end, maybe they're willing to use that tournament to boost her up. And I think that tournament needs to boost her up no matter what. Yes, she made it to the next round last year, but you want her to make it, I think, as close as possible to that final. You want to boost her up. You want the world to see her as a new top main event star. I don't know if she's there yet. And I think that's really going to be the focus for Stardom moving forward is getting Hanan to that level before we can deem her the top babyface of this promotion. That's what's holding her back. It's just the experience in that role. And until she loses these tag belts, I don't think we can seriously consider her getting that spot until then. She's going much like Starlight Kid. You look at those two, I feel like those are the two most believable options for the long term, without a doubt. They're both incredibly young, they're both incredibly talented. They're gonna be the long term options. But we're looking for the next. We're looking for the one that replaces Tam Nakano. Listen, I know replacing Tam Nakano is not possible. That is a history making wrestler, right? Box office attraction. But replacing her importance on this roster is needed. And that's what the top babyface is all about. The person that, in many ways, this company can revolve around. Saya Kamitani is that woman, right? She is that wrestler. That is who this is revolving around. And in many ways, could be that top babyface sooner rather than later. But you can't take her out of that heel role. That's the role that's gotten her over. So I look at Hana, I look at Starlight Kid. I think they're both great options. I think they're the obvious ones, you know? That is the options you to kind of expect. But I want to go outside the box here with my presentation here because I believe in both of them fully, 100%. Have for years. But there's other options that I think can be top rivals for Saya Kamitani if given the opportunity and be that top babyface in Stardom. We move over to May Sarah. May Sarah is a fascinating one to me. I find May Sarah to be one of the most likable wrestlers in the entire world. You know, through that match with Suzu Suzuki at All Star Grand Queendom, you saw an incredible performance, an incredible babyface performance that lifted both her and Suzu in so many ways. She was willing to go out there and have the bloody war with Suzu Suzuki. And she has shown so many times since joining Stardom in 2023 that she can be so much more than just high speed. That is the only thing holding her back, I think, from making that next step up. She is such a perfect potential foil for Saya Kamitani. The idea of what those two present and the story behind that. May Sarah defeated Saya Kamitani to win this championship. I think that can be very easily forgotten. She defeated Saya Kamitani to win this championship. She has shown she can beat her. And she is someone who, despite being the number 3 in Neo Genesis, feels like she can at least be 2, if not 1, with the proper backing and push. That is how natural of a babyface I believe she is. That's how natural and great of a babyface I think she is. And now you may think, well, does she surpass the Wonder of Stardom Championship? That feels like maybe would be her next step post High Speed Championship. But we're looking for stars. We're looking to make stars. We're looking to find that top wrestler. And I feel like her ability to be so dynamic in the ring, her likability, everything combines to be a very, very special babyface, a very special wrestler, and someone that I think could be an incredible opponent for Saya Kamitani in this title reign, and naturally can become a top babyface for Stardom. I really do. I really do. She has everything you're looking for that, and it's just a matter of giving her the opportunity, I think, maybe to dig her teeth in a bit more, you know? This high speed championship is, to me, weighing her down from her true potential in this company. Maysair is an option that excites me to face Saya Kamitani and to really grab the bull by the horns and maybe go so much higher than maybe anyone could have ever expected for her when she joined this company. When there are doors open, you try to get through them, right? When there are opportunities knocking, answer 'em, find them, and run with them. I think May Sarah can be that. She, to me, feels like that underdog option, right? Starlight Kid and Hanan are the textbook, obvious answers, and rightfully so. But why not May Sarah? She has the same qualities that those two have. She has the insane wrestling ability that I feel like, you know, is showcased on house shows, is showcased on major shows against any kind of opponent. That Suzuki match told me she can and should be a main eventer. Give her a shot. My next choice might be the most insane choice to people, but one that always had the destiny to be that. And that is Momo Watanabe. Momo Watanabe may be a heel at this moment. And as she returns this weekend, she returns as a member of Hate. But Momo Watanabe was destined to be a top babyface, the top babyface in this promotion once upon a time. She was gonna be that next ace. And there was no more natural story to be the defining story of Saya Kamitani's World of Stardom title reign than the one with Momo Watanabe. How did we get here in the first place? Saya Kamitani lost Queen's Quest a year ago at the conversion, right? Part of that was Momo Watanabe acting like she would rejoin Saya Kamitani as part of Queen's Quest, and ultimately still turned on her again in the end and ripped it all from under her. That led to the eventual dark, twisted turn of Saya Kamitani that has ultimately brought her to the top. And now, as we sit here looking at Hate, there's one person that feels like they do not need to be there anymore, and that is Momo Watanabe. Momo is such an incredibly gifted pro wrestler and has been for damn near a decade. Well, I think a decade. I believe she's hit her, and you get my point. And to me, I feel like her past, her ability to live up to the big match, and her story with Saya Kamitani can make her the top babyface of this promotion. I really do. The anti-hero is something that Saya Kamitani has in many ways run with despite being a heel. Momo Watanabe doesn't need to be the prototypical babyface, right? Starlight Kid, Hanan, Mera, they capture that idea and nail it. Momo doesn't need to be that, but she can still be the top babyface of this promotion. I watch Momo Watanabe in amazement every time she wrestles because when she's on, there are few people on this earth better than her. And we're looking for options for Saya Kamitani. We're looking for people to rise up to that spot. There is no one possibly on this let me rephrase that. There is no one on this roster that has been in that position more often in stardom itself than Momo Watanabe. To be put in a position to deliver, to help, to raise up, let her shine. Let her face Saya Kamitani. Have your next big, major, obvious story and run with it. She is someone that I do believe can be just that, can answer this question of who. She just needs the opportunity, and we need to see it to believe it. That's the only reason that she's not my number one choice. Because I don't know if they're going to be willing to go that far with her. They at least need to tell the story. But to me, she could be the end game to Saya Kamitani and the World of Stardom Championship. You can get her back to that level in the eyes of everyone through telling that story, through telling that feud. And I hope they do it. But I just don't know. I just don't know. It's been a long time since Momo Watanabe has been believed to be in that spot. She's capable of it. She can do it. She's a different wrestler now, and she has the story to back it up. But my fifth and final option won't surprise you. She was on the thumbnail. That, of course, is Natsu Poi. I don't know if there's ever been a more obvious choice for something like this. Natsu Poi was always supposed to be the heir apparent to Tam Nakano. When Meltier was formed, I remember saying it. I remember other people saying it. She was next to Tam to take over for Tam. She was going to be the next Cosmic Angels leader. She was going to be this. She was going to be that. She always felt like that. And then somewhere over the past 2 years, it feels like that has been forgotten or lost when it comes to Tam. Or not Tam. When it comes to Natsu Poi. And I said this past week on the 5-Star Joshi show that the Natsu and Sayori 10th anniversary show should be the relaunch of Natsu Poi in that position. And I know you may be listening to this say, well, the Wonder of Stardom title reign didn't go all too well. And trust me, I know that. Devastates me because Natsu Poi is so much better than what that reign was. Natsu Poi is such a lovable and likable pro wrestler that puts everything she has into every match she has. As we celebrate 10 years for Natsu Poi in professional wrestling, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's always been that for her. That is how I felt with the Wonder of Stardom title. It's not a matter of if she'll get it, it's when, because that's how great she was and still is. Natsu Poi is someone I've seen so many fans take a liking to, whether it be in Japan, whether it be English fans, everyone loves Natsu Poi, and rightfully so. Natsu Poi has it. She does. She does. And the Wonder of Stardom championship reign that she got felt like, not, I don't want to say sabotage because it sounds extreme, but she didn't get given any favors. Going into that title reign, you watched Seriano and Mika Wada trade the belt in one of the more awkward decision making aspects of Stardom, right? They the obvious story was Seriano dropping the belt to Natsu Poi, but they decided to throw a curveball and have Awada win it and then drop it back a month later. That didn't do a lot of good for Natsu Poi, who was waiting in the wings. Rather, it just made it clunky. And when Ano and Natsu Poi finally faced, it didn't feel as fulfilling as it should have. So when she won that title, boy oh boy, was it a special moment. But it was the same weekend that Natsuko Tora won the World of Stardom Championship. Hate was born. Saya Kamitani turned heel, and all these different things. And this is a story point you can go back to. When Natsupoi reached her first true peak, Saya Kamitani turned to darkness. We can come back around to that. But let me continue. The Wonder of Stardom Championship reign then, of course, had the great Hazuki defense. But one of the bigger problems, I think, was the 5-star Grand Prix was right there. When you do these tournaments and you crown a new champion, I think it's always hard to get the champion off the ground when you I think it's always difficult to get the champion off the ground when the champion can't be a defending champion immediately. Natsupoi had to wait until the end of the 5-star Grand Prix to defend the title for the first time against Suzuki. It was a month and a half later, and her 5-star Grand Prix wasn't to the level you'd expect. There's kind of a Wonder of Stardom title curse in the 5-star Grand Prix. The champion doesn't always have the standout showing, I feel like you kind of expect. And Natsupoi, bless her, went down a different route, right? She tried to be a little more technical and get over submissions. It just wasn't Natsupoi. So, when she faced Suzuki, I was reminded, yes, this is the Natsupoi I'm used to. And then she entered a feud with Tekla that lasted 3 months of her title reign. Natsupoi only defended the Wonder of Stardom Championship successfully twice. The Tekla feud took up more time than any feud should have. You had the one defense, which wasn't good, and then of course it get stretched out to get to historic crossover. That hurt her reign in so many ways. By the time that was over, Starlight Kid was ready. Starlight Kid was ready to win that championship, and Natsupoi's reign, just like that, was over. It never felt like it happened. The moment happened when she won. The moment was great, but the reign didn't live up to what Natsupoi is capable of, and I have a hard time fully blaming her for that. Another problem for Natsupoi, maybe this is why her being the heir apparent to Tam Nakano has kind of disappeared, or the natural heir apparent, is due to injuries. Natsupoi has had a tough go with injuries the past 2 years. And maybe that's why she tried to go more technical, right, to preserve herself and things like that. But injuries have slowed her down. And when she came back from injury last year in 2024, she had that great, incredible presentation video. And it felt like they were like, this is going to be our wrestler. This is going to be our star. And it feels like we've kind of gone away from that again. This is not to say anything other than a lot has happened to slow down Natsupoi, I think, from being at the level she should be. But what is important important for Natsu Poi is here's what she does have working for her. Like I said earlier, lovable, likable. She is one of the most loved wrestlers in this company. When you see those popular votes, it was always her and Tam Nakano at the top. She is a member of Cosmic Angels, a faction that so naturally is connected to the top baby faces in the company. It's the top babyface faction in the company. Makes it that much more easy. But maybe Neo Genesis is taking that over. That's a conversation for another time. The other part, the story is there with Saya Kamitani. You can use the history in that weekend of Saya turning bad and Natsupoi being the champion. You can use that. You can also just use the fact that Natsupoi is, to all of us, Tam Nakano's best friend on the Stardom screen, right? She was the one. She was her tag partner. She was her number two in command. She was the Robin to her Batman. She was all those different things. She was always that. And who is the person that retired Tam Nakano? That is Saya Kamitani, right? They've gone with Sayaka Karawa to tell that story. And I part of me thinks they'll go with Seriano as well to tell that story. But there is no one more natural to tell that story and to continue that story than Natsupoi. These two have history. These two have history of having stellar matches, by the way. Cinderella Journey 2022 for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. One of my favorite Wonder of Stardom title matches ever between Saya Kamitani and Natsupoi. There's just so much there. And when I watched Natsupoi in the main event of that Natsu and Saori show, I saw the Natsupoi that was undoubtedly in the conversation for best in the world in 2022 and 2023. That undoubtedly put herself in the conversation to be a future Wonder of Stardom champion. I saw every bit of that version of her. That show should 100% serve as the launching point. They had so many people in that building. They had so many people watching that show. And a big part of that is just because of her. Her and Saori are incredible together, and they will naturally lead them forward. And honestly, you could just pair them together maybe as the top baby face of this promotion, the very natural fill-in for Tam Nakano. No matter what you say, Natsupoi has always been capable of being this company's top baby face, and it's why she is my pick. She is my pick to be that option. There's so many unbelievable, understandable qualities for everyone I've named. And listen, I think it would be perfect to have all of them be the big five top baby faces in Stardom right now. I really do. But Natsupoi feels like the choice. She feels like the easiest choice because when she is at the top of her game, when she is wrestling like she did this past Saturday, when she is being herself and believing in herself, she is on another level. Her and Saya Kamitani can create magic. They can utilize the Tam Nakano story to benefit and boost that story. And Natsupoi can be that wrestler to win the World of Stardom Championship. She has made ifs when. She has made greatness so many times. And she is someone that I believe can be the answer to who should be Stardom's next top babyface. I ask you all to now give your opinions. Let me know in the comments below who would be your pick. It doesn't have to be out of these five. You can pick someone from the roster, anyone from the roster. Maybe your answer is Saya Kamitani. Maybe that's just the natural direction to go. But to me, you use Saya Kamitani to make that next top babyface. I've said before, Hanan is like an easy, perfect pick for me. But after this weekend, after the belief and I had of that match, of that show, being a launching point for Natsu Poi, it's hard for me to pick anyone else because I saw the superstar. I saw the person that so easily can fit into that role with the history and the story, and she deserves it. After that Wonderstar title reign, I want her to get one more reign, either top belt, and just show the world what she's made of. But I'm also invested in the idea of Momo Watanabe. I'm invested in the idea of Mera, Starlight Kid, Hanan. There's not a bad option from the five. I'm just on the Natsu Poi kick right now. And I think believe in Poi is a saying many, many, many people can get behind. Believe in Tam was a saying. Well, we're now believing in Poi. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed this 5-star extra video. I don't know how many times we'll do this. Maybe just when a topic comes up. If you ever have a topic, maybe you want me to dive more into, please give me the idea. The 5-star extra has kind of become a thing with news and such, but this will be the series. We'll take something from the current joshi world and we'll talk about it maybe kind of in this list type version and such, where it's a moving part. But if you have anything you or any ideas that you would like me to do for these videos, feel free to comment. Feel free to let me know. Tweet at me, DM me, whatever it may be. I'm always willing to listen. So, thank you everyone for listening to the 5-star extra. The 5-star Joshi show will be out on Friday. We'll be talking Natsu and Sayori. We'll be talking the Stardom Corkin coming up. We'll be talking Marigold. We'll be talking so much, so much, because Joshi never stops, and that's why the 5-star Joshi show never stops. So thank you everyone for listening. Let me know who you think should be the next top babyface for Stardom. Maybe we already have it. Maybe we don't. Whatever it may be, I want to hear from you. So leave a comment below. So with that being said, until next time, everyone, so long. See you later. Passion. Bye-bye.